Hi everyone, I'm JD from Willow Journals. Welcome back to my channel. I am super excited to get started with the next Make a Junk Journal with Me series. So we are going to be making a vintage French journal together, and this was actually inspired by a subscriber request. So one of my beautiful subscribers wanted me to make a journal using digitals from my Etsy shop. So I created a whole new set of printables just for this project, and I've created one kit that has the cover and 10 double-sided feature pages, so 20 pages in total, but you can print them out double-sided so that there's 10 pages with my journals. I'm going to be making a paper bag single signature journal. So with that kind of journal that I make, there's 25 pages total, which folds to give you 50, which gives you 100 pages front and back. And then what I do with that, how I break it down, is I want 10 feature pages, and then the rest I usually have 10 writing blank pages and then 5 novelty type of pages. So for the feature pages on the cover, I've created one kit for that. So here is the cover. I have already formatted it so you can print it. All you've got to do is print it double-sided. So of course there's a blank page for this one. And then here are the pages, the feature pages, a whole mix of different vintage French ledgers and receipts and documents and collages that I've made. So that is the set of pages. So this is available in my Etsy right now. And then this is optional, so you can definitely make just the journal with the cover and pages. That's actually my preference. I prefer just a plain writing journal. But for those who want to embellish, I will go ahead and show you how I add pockets, how I add sewing, how I add ephemera to my journals. So I also have an ephemera pack, a mixed French ephemera pack here. And this is where I create all of my pockets and journal cards from. So here you go, just giving you a look at this one. Some of my tags that I made. And there's 10 pages in this one, lots and lots of goodies. I think there's about 50 pieces of ephemera. Now I've printed mine twice. So I've printed mine on 80 GSM paper, as well as 200 GSM paper, because for my pockets I like to use the 80 GSM. For my cards that I'm going to write on the back of, I like to use 200 GSM. If you don't have 200 GSM paper, it does not matter. All I do is cut these out from the 80 GSM paper, and I will back it onto coffee dye paper to give it that weight to the paper. Or honestly, you don't need to worry about it. Thin paper in pockets is just fine as well. Use what you have, do what you can do with what you have. So those are the feature pages, the cover, and the ephemera. Next, you will need obviously a paper bag for the cover. So this has sort of become my signature journal style. My very first journal I ever bought, junk journal I ever bought, was a glassine bag journal. And so I love using glassine bags and paper bags for my journals because of that. That was the first journal that inspired me so much to buy it, and that's why I now create so many of them myself. And you can do so many wonderful things with the humble paper bag. I've made so many different types of journals, so many different styles, and yeah, just so fun. I have renewed this listing in my Etsy too, so if you're overseas and you want the same paper bags that I use, I've got a listing for 10 paper bags that I can send to you in the mail, so check that out. But I know that you can get paper bags wherever you are, they just might be a different size, and that's okay. Use the size you have, just cut things down differently. But for the sake of those who want to know, it's 20 centimeters this way, and it is about 26 centimeters lengthways. But any paper bag it's all good. All right, let's move on. Oh, of course, for our binding, we need an awl to poke our holes. We need embroidery thread or wax linen thread, twine, whatever you want to use. We've got something that you can hold your pages together with. So paper clips you could use, binder clips. I use the long bobby pins and an embroidery needle or tapestry needle, so that the thread can fit through the eye of the needle. So of course you'll also need some scissors, a ruler might come in handy, a pen as well to rule some lines and measurements, or a paper trimmer if you just want to use a paper trimmer. Going on to the pages, so let's have a look here. I've got 15 pages here, and what I've got is a mix of full-size writing pages and smaller ones, smaller pages, and then I have some novelty type of pages. So the novelty type pages, let's start with those. I've got things like bags, so glassine bag, paper bag. These are great to use as ready-made pocket pages. And then also another ready-made pocket page is the envelope. So I've just coffee dyed this envelope, cut off the flap so that there's a top loading pocket here. You can actually use any paper bag for this. This one I often cut down in half and fold it in half so that it's top loading pockets in a journal. I've also folded it this way and trimmed off the top so you've got larger pockets there. So any type of paper bag will do, big, small. And envelope, doily. I like using doilies in my journals. So this one I would just fold in half. You can use round doilies, square doilies. So fun. My other novelty page I've got tucked in here is a piece of vellum. So you could use tracing paper or any sort of transparent paper. That's what I use just to add a bit of texture and something different for the eye to look at. So I have those novelty feature pages there as well for interactivity and interest. Going on to my blank pages, I've just got coffee dye paper. If you don't have coffee dye paper, that's okay, you don't want to do it. Just use cream paper, or honestly, white paper is just fine. Don't be afraid of white paper. I love using white paper in my journals because I can put anything I want on top of it. So then I've just got a whole bunch of different, you can see some are darker than others, some have weird patterns in it, so I like that. Then I've got some that are, some that are lined, so I've got 2 lined pages, and I like having 2 because one I like to fold this way so the lines go this way, the other page I'll fold this way so the lines go this way, and also that gives me interest and layers in my journal with a narrower page. I've got some cream pages here as well. Again, I've got 2 of each of these line pages so I can fold them this way if I want, or this way, just as options. I actually have a few, I think, extra pages here just to show you the range of pages that you could have. If you only want 1 of each, go for it. Mix and match, find things in your own stash. You can use colored paper if you want. It's going to be, my favorite color is blue, so my kits that I tend to make tend to have a bit more blue in them, so I might want to use some blue paper for this, for example, or any colored paper. Honestly, you don't have to use the same materials that I use. This is just an example, but for those who want a recipe, for those who prefer having a template that they can follow to the T, here's what I have gathered. And then, yeah, I'll show you later on how I fold these in different ways to make the journal even more interesting. But even if you just fold these just the straight normal way in half, you'll already have an interesting journal because of the range of papers that you've chosen. So yeah, I'm going for obviously a vintage look with the vintage French theme, so that's why I've got my coffee dye pages. But honestly, you can go for color, you can go for white, all good, all good. You can go for ledger pages, yeah, so fun. So yeah, I think that I've covered everything in terms of what you'll need for your materials. So have fun gathering your supplies. Let me know if you're going to be joining in with this series. I would love to make this with you and see what you come up with. If you want to share a photo of your materials and a photo of the journal that you make, feel free to share that in the Willow Bound Journals Facebook group page, or tag me over on Instagram. And yeah, I'll give you a bit of time to gather everything, and then I'll come back probably in about a week's time to share the very first video where we make our cover together. Yay, so excited. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys. A big thank you to my beautiful patrons who supported me in August and allowed me to do this full time for another month. If you would like to support my channel and what I do, you can do so over on my Patreon. The link will be in the description box below, and that's where you get access to more videos, printables. At the Ruby tier, you get every single digital kit from my Etsy, plus a new digital kit every month. There are also some mail tiers where you get some goodies sent out to you in the mail.